What is going on, y'all? Today I have a very exciting review on this brand new for 2024 Christmas inflatable light show Santa gift sack scene that is 11.5 feet wide and 8.3 feet tall. It is an absolutely massive inflatable. As you can tell by that tag right there, this is a BJ's exclusive. However, that is not entirely true. You can get this on yardinflatables.com as well. However, there is an upcharge, so if you don't, but it really does balance it out, because if you don't have a BJ's membership and you don't really want to pay for one, but you want this inflatable really bad, you can get this through Yard Inflatables, and I guess you're paying the same amount or maybe less than a BJ's membership would be, so it all kind of evens out. But this is an absolutely mammoth inflatable. For those of you who have seen it in stores, if your stores had it inflated, you can't really tell by the box, especially since, this isn't just your typical 20-footer or another, colossal inflatable that's typically known for being huge. This is huge. And it has so many bells and whistles, as you can tell by the box there, and all those arrows indicating all the animation. As you can see, Santa's arm waves, the teddy bear's arms move up and down, same thing with the nutcracker there, or the toy soldier, whatever you want to call it. The snow globe there, I assume, has the clear acrylic fabric, well, not really fabric, the plastic material that is made up for all snow globes. As you can see, it does have a kaleidoscope in the actual sack itself there. The scene depicts the Santa sack tipping over and all the toys falling out, which I think is really cool. It's not something they typically have ever done. I can't really think of anything else that is like this, when it's like a typical, classic Christmas scene like this that we don't get to see much anymore. As you can see by the width of the box here, is about 2 feet wide, and I'd say a foot deep for the box here. It's one of those that has the flap on top. It has no tabs or anything. The box doesn't really close like that. You just cut the tape and open it up. But this is a curveball, honestly. BJ's has been known, BJ's has always been known for their, big inflatables like this that have all these bells and whistles, but they've kind of shied away with that for Halloween this year. They had that giant haunted tree archway, but that really didn't have any bells and whistles. The Nightmare Before Christmas clock scene, however, did have a kaleidoscope in it, but other than that, it's just kind of been, you kind of lost track of, these mega designs from BJ's, but thankfully they are making a return for Christmas this year with this mega one right here that as soon as I saw it, I knew that I needed to at least check it out, because it's a definite showstopper for sure. This is being sold for $300, if I didn't mention that already, through BJ's. Unless I believe they might have discounted it down a little bit, took $20 off of it now, so maybe it's $280, but I did pay $300 for this one, which it's fine. $300, as everyone would know, that's a pretty steep price tag. To think that, just a few years ago, maybe back in 2018, 2019, other than the living projection ones that were around at the time, the idea of an inflatable costing more than $200, let alone $300, was unfathomable. There were only a very few amount that before the living projection ones took over that costed more than $200. And now we're in this time now where there's these mega inflatables, but with mega inflatables come mega price tags, where this one's $300, and there's other 20-footers at home and stuff that are $300 to $350. So that's another thing to really consider here, just before we get into the review, is the price tag on this one is, regardless, you're going to have to pay around $300. So if you go to BJ's and pick it up right now for that $280 price tag, you will obviously have to pay tax for it, and it will end up costing you over $300. So, but I really have no doubt in my mind that this one is not worth $300, because I 100% think it is. I haven't even gotten inflated it yet, but I honestly I'm completely in love with this design, and I can't wait to get it unboxed and inflated and point out everything that's really awesome about it. So let's go ahead and get straight into the review and start with the unboxing. This is easily one of the coolest inflatables I've ever acquired in my entire life. I understand now why that $300 price tag is what it is. is because you are really paying for quality here. I mean, from what I've been able to see here, first things first is there's no split seams or anything from what I can tell. Inflated nice and great. Has, I think, 4 or 5 zippers. I haven't even been able to search the entire thing to find them all, but from what I've been able to find so far, obviously there's the one down by the fan underneath Santa. There's one on the bottom of the sack. There's one right here on the side of the sack. There's one on the back of the snow globe, and there's one on the back of the teddy bear. That is just, whoa. So that is 5. From what I've been able to see, I don't think there is a zipper on the Nutcracker here, which is odd because he has the rotating cuffs right here that if you need to do something to him, fix him or whatever, they typically, you know, behind the teddy bear there, because of it has the rotator cuffs as well. It has a zipper behind it so that you can have easy access to it, but for some reason they didn't put one on that one. But it's fine, because I mean there's 5 zippers on this one. You can see during the day, even here, you can see the kaleidoscope in the sack starting to move. This is actually made out of this special material, this like grid material that some of the mixed media ones are made of. So that's the top of the sack. As you can see right here, the clear material on the snow globe hasn't fully inflated yet, but over time, as it gets adjusted to outside, it does smoothen out. There are 2 kaleidoscopes in this one inside the snow globe, which I was not expecting, and there's one obviously inside the sack. The fuzzy plush material on the teddy bear, and then as I mentioned, the rotator cuffs on both the teddy bear and the Nutcracker, and the waving mech in the Santa, the same one from the BJ's tree scene that they had originally in 2019. That's the one that I have. And then they re-released it in 2020, and then re-released it again in 2023, last year. This has a YF 200, which is as to be expected. With typically all mega BJ's inflatables like this, they always include either a 125 or a 200. I was absolutely expecting a 200, and they did put a 200 in it. This is amazing. I mean, as far as tether attachment goes, that's another thing to talk about. So obviously there's none on the bottom of Santa because he has the fan legs, but there's a tether attachment on the side of him right there. There's one on the side of the sack. As you can see, the sack is very, like, this is not, I was worried about it kind of being cut off, like it was just going to be the face of the sack, but it's actually pretty round. As you can see, there's the kaleidoscope in the back there. So there's 2 tether attachments on this side, and I believe there's actually only 1 on the other one. So you're supposed to use the 4 tethers. So 2 coming off of right here, and then 1 on each of the tether attachments on the other one, on the other side. It has the gold material right here on the Nutcracker's cuffs and on his waist. It has the harder felt brim on the hat. More gold up there on the top of the hat. For such a tiny, snow globe part of the inflatable, I was very surprised that they included their own kaleidoscope in there. I can't wait to see how well this one lights up at night. This also does have some C7s in it. So there's some C7s in the Nutcracker. I believe there's one right there in the base, as you can see right there in the snow globe. There's a few in the teddy bear, I assume. There's one right there in the penguin you can see during the day. There's a few in Santa. Maybe there's a few in the sack. I don't know, but with that kaleidoscope, they typically don't like to mix in some C7s in there too. But this is an absolutely amazing inflatable. I mean, already haven't seen it during the night yet, but I already know that this is $300 well spent, honestly. Like, if you had to pick just one big one to be in your display for this year, this is the one to pick, honestly, from what I can tell you right now. I know people are going back and forth whether they want to get the this one or the snow globe from Sam's Club, which I also did get, and there will be a review on that one later. But honestly, I'd say that this one might actually be better than the snow globe. I haven't inflated my snow globe yet or done a review on it. Haven't shot the review on it yet, but it's going to be hard to beat this one, honestly. This is one of the coolest inflatables I have in my collection. It is for sure one of my favorite Christmas inflatables, at least. But it might just beat out everything else in my entire collection because of how cool it looks right here. Take a step back. There's about, what they show on the front of the box. Has many tether attachments along the bottom. I haven't even counted them all. There's one, obviously, as you can see right there in front of the snow globe. There aren't any, I don't think. I haven't found any. I did feel this when I was inflating it. Oh, there is one right here, so in between his legs, but there aren't any on the sides of him. There might be one on his back there. No, there's not. So there's just one on him in between his feet. There's one obviously in front of the snow globe there. I assume there's one on the teddy bear, whether it's in the front. Yeah, right here. Right here. Nothing on the feet. And there's a few on the sack itself. I was honestly expecting the fan to be in the sack, but it's not. It's in Santa. Right there you can see there is a tether attachment right there. I assume there's one on the front too, I believe. But that's just about all there is to talk about. I'm not even really rambling on about random stuff too. This is just, it takes this long to really talk about everything that comes with this inflatable. This is an absolutely amazing design. They did not cut any expense. This is like, they didn't cut any corners on this one. Typically when Jemmy pitches a design to a store, or a store picks out a design, they take a bunch of stuff out of it to make it more cost effective. But this is one where typically BJ's isn't really like that. I know At Home is for sure like that, but BJ's typically just goes with everything that Jemmy pitches on the initial inflatable design, and they kept everything on it. I mean, it has all the animation parts, has the snow globe material in the front there, has 2 kaleidoscopes, has the grid material for the top of the sack, which I did not know it had. The fuzzy plush material on the teddy bear has a YF 200. Everything about this is just super, super cool. And that is just about all there is to talk about with how this one looks during the day. So let's go ahead and get the night view. So now that we've talked about quite literally everything there is to talk about with this design, let's go ahead and do the rating. So of course, this one's automatically, you know that this one's going to get a good rating from me. So first things first is design, solid 10 out of 10. Absolutely, I say that's a 10 out of 10 perfect score for this design. Something we don't see very often, and which is odd because it's such a classic Christmas scene that you'd expect them to make tons of inflatables like this, but they really don't. BJ's is really the only store that really picks out some scenes like this for Christmas, and I'm all for it. So honestly, 10 out of 10, everything. I couldn't even say one thing that honestly that this one doesn't have that I would rather put in it. It has everything. It has the fuzzy plush material, has the snow globe material, has the animation mechs, 3 different types of animation, all in the 3 different characters there, 2 kaleidoscopes, the different material on the top of the sack, has YF 200, the most powerful fan they could possibly put in it, and it inflates great. There's really nothing else to really talk about as far as complaints, because there's nothing that's wrong with this inflatable as far as design goes. So 10 out of 10, and also that's directly adjacent to quality as well, the next thing to talk about. Quality, also 10 out of 10. There's nothing I would say that is bad about this one. It checks every box for me, so a solid 10 out of 10 also for quality. So then we got price. Price is the one thing that's kind of iffy, but still, I'm just going to give it like a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for price. I know it's $300, or now it's $280, but the set price is $300. People would be hesitant to pay for that, but again, like I said earlier in the video, you're paying for quality. You're not just paying, some crap price that the store marked up. This is it's worth $300 to me, honestly. It has everything. I mean, just the YF 200 alone, from the one place you can get brand new replacement fans from yardinflatables.com, it's like $70 now. So that's $70 alone just for the fan. And then there's all the animation mechs. There's the kaleidoscopes that I'd say are $15 a piece. The design itself, even if it had nothing special about it, if they took out the animation, took out the fuzzy material on the bear, took out the kaleidoscope, everything like that, this is still like a $200 design. But with everything that they added into it, I'd say $300 is about the price you'd expect. And this is honestly, I think this might be a candidate for inflatable of the year for me. Especially, I mean, for sure, I'd say, I'd already go ahead and call it that is my favorite Christmas inflatable for this year. But it might also beat out some of the other stuff we've seen for Halloween this year, but we'll get to that at the end of the year. But overall, I mean, 10 out of 10 for design, 10 out of 10 for quality, and a 7 out of 10 for price. I mean, that is not bad at all. I mean, this is probably the highest rating I've ever given for an inflatable in one of these reviews. But overall, I'd say 9.5 out of 10. Price is the only thing that is iffy about it, but everything else, I'd go ahead and say, I'd recommend going and getting this one as soon as you can. I think everyone needs to have this in their display. But overall, my final thoughts on this one is I very much hope that BJ's and all the other stores continue to pick out absolute bangers of designs like this that are phenomenal, because, I mean, Christmas this year in particular has been stellar. Every store, honestly, except for like maybe Walmart. Walmart's kind of flown right under the radar for a lot of collectors like myself, where there's nothing at Walmart that really interests me. Same thing with kind of like Home Depot. Home Depot has a few things that are neat, but nothing that's really like, you know, a must-have where everyone needs to go and get it. But BJ's is incredible this year. At Home is knocking it out of the park. Sam's Club is phenomenal. Lowe's is pretty good. I'd say Lowe's might be better than last year. But overall, Christmas is surprisingly good comparison to Halloween, where Halloween, it's not that Halloween was bad. It's just, you know, it wasn't quite at the same standard that Christmas is this year. So it's random that Christmas is so much better than Halloween. But overall, not complaining at all. This one is an absolute banger of a design, and I recommend all of you go and pick this one up right now. This is a must-have for everyone's display. But overall, you've been watching the Inflatable channel. Thank you for watching my review. Stay tuned for some more Christmas reviews and the Christmas display coming up next. And I hope to see you guys very soon for another review. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye.